And I love the Omni Pro TIG 200. I have great results with it. I weld basically every day, and this is a great welder. See, that bead is beautiful right there. Came out really nice. What I'm welding on is cast aluminum, and I'm using 4043 rod. And as you can see, I'm getting a really nice bead. Now, I'm using 20 CFH of pure argon, and the way my welder is set up, I have the AC frequency set at 88, so the lower the frequency that you set on the AC frequency, the wider the cone is going to be, the arc. And the higher the AC frequency is going to be, the tighter the arc's going to be. So when you go to AC balance, to do most aluminum, you're going to want to set that at 70. That's a great starting point, 70, which is 70% negative, 30% positive. So when I'm doing my cast, I go down to 64. 64 gives you a little bit more cleaning action. The negative side of this AC balance is cleaning. So it can go as low as 50, which is 50% negative, 50% positive, and it can go as high as 90, which is 90% negative or penetration, 10% cleaning, or 10% positive. So the negative is the penetration, and the positive is the cleaning action. And the AC balance is how much time it's spent on each one, or how much percent of each one is going through. So 70 for your regular old, aluminum, if you have any type of aluminum like this armrest I made, to weld that, keep it at 70. But when I'm doing cast, I like to drop that down to, like, say 64. 64, I have the pulse off, and I keep my power around 200. So right in here, this is the second bead that I just laid. There was like a scratch. So I went along, I did the edge. I did this little scratch. I took care of that crater. At all times when I'm doing cast, I always use full power and regulate through the pedal. The AC balance is something that people ask a lot of questions about. So I'll go through the settings on this machine and what I like to use and what works best for me. I do weld aluminum. I can get a nice bead to come out. And when I'm welding aluminum, or cast aluminum rather, which is really thick, I set the amperage to 200, no pulse, and the AC balance. Now that's something that's talked about a lot, but even when I got the Vulcan Pro TIG 200, I was kind of like questioning, what the hell does this AC balance do? So when you're on the 50 side, or when you turn it all the way down, it goes from 50 to 90. So when you're on the 50 side, you're on 50% cleaning, 50% penetration. So your cleaning is positive, your penetration is negative. So the balance is how much, so the more negative you put in, so if you put it up to 90, you get 90% negative, 10% positive. So you're getting 90% penetration, 10% cleaning action. So the higher you have the number, the more penetration you're gonna get. The lower you have the number, the more cleaning action you're gonna get. I hope that really sums it up. And when I'm doing cast aluminum, I put my frequency on something like 88. And I like my cone a little bit fat, but even at that, it welds a bead like that. So yeah, 20 CFH of argon. I've heard reviews online of people just talking shit, and I think they get paid by other companies to endorse their product. The one thing I would say is, if you do get an Omni Pro TIG 200, is replace the tungsten. Get a 2% lanthanated. The tungsten it comes with is garbage, but tungsten is a consumable. So when you go out to buy, or just one of the things I would buy first purchase, would be a new, get a 2% lanthanated tungsten. This is the one that I use. I got this is off Amazon for like 20 bucks. 2% lanthanated, gives a much better arc start. And besides that, you know, just make sure everything's clean, wipe it down with acetone and a stainless steel brush. I use a brush like this on my drill, stainless steel. I got this off of eBay, 20 bucks or 10 bucks. And yeah, get some little bottles like this. Put your acetone in there, some paper towels, just squeeze it right from your acetone on there. Clean your rods, use 40-43 if you're doing cast. And the weld is great. Don't let anyone talk you into spending more money. You know, it welds. If you're doing bad welds and you think it's the welder, you go and buy a more expensive welder, your welds are gonna look the same. I mean, these welds right here, we're done with this machine. I don't know if you can even see them. But I'm giving the worst angles ever. And they look pretty good. And those were done with this machine, so that's that. It cost me about $1,500 to set everything up to start TIG welding, and then, you know, you have other stuff that occurs down the line.